Hi guys, I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about different cultures. So Disney World is a very, very popular vacation destination, and people come from all over the world. And people from all over the world have different cultures. So I thought today I would talk about some things that I thought might be helpful to people coming from other countries. Now, I have no idea if other countries necessarily do these things or don't do these things, but I figure it can't hurt, because whenever I've traveled to another country, I like to be aware of cultural differences. So I have my list on my phone here, and let's get started. So the first thing I have is space. Stay out of my bubble. Now, I say that because I know a lot of other cultures don't have the same space requirements, I guess, for lack of a better word, that Americans do. Americans don't like to stand, like if you're standing in line, we do not stand nearly as close to each other as people from other cultures do. Now, a good example of this would be when my husband and I were in Disneyland Paris, and there was somebody standing behind me. They were wearing a Goofy hat, and if you've ever seen the Goofy hats, the bill is a little bit bigger. So they're standing behind me, and they were standing so close to me that the bill of their hat was covering over my head. Like if it had rained, I would have stayed dry. So, I mean, I was in their culture. I mean, it's not like I was gonna say anything. It wasn't a big deal. We just kind of like looked at each other and kind of laughed, because that's not something that we're used to. But if you're coming from a culture that is like that to Disney World in America, I think that would be good to keep in mind, that people might say something, you'd probably make them uncomfortable if you stand that close to them. The second thing I have, I don't know if this is a cultural thing, I just thought it'd be good to mention, is follow the rules. And this is a good reminder for some Americans too who don't follow the rules. When they say no flash pictures, do not use the flash on your phone. And then they say move all the way down. Move all the way down. I have seen this happen a lot in shows in the 3D movies. For example, in Mickey's PhilharMagic, people want to have the best seat, so they stop in the middle of the row. And meanwhile, you have this whole line of people behind you that have nowhere to go, and all the seats in front of them in their row are empty, and people can't get there. Well, and this is kind of ridiculous anyway, because in the 3D shows where you put on the 3D glasses, the show comes to you. It doesn't matter where you sit, you have the same, it looks the exact same. If you are on a very end seat, which I have been many times, and I totally volunteer when people are, don't want to sit there, then the show actually comes to you, so it looks the same as if you were in the middle. And I actually prefer the very end seat by going all the way down, because then you get out faster, because the exit doors are on the opposite side of the entrance doors. So keep that in mind and be respectful of the other people. And like I said, that spans all cultures. Follow the rules. But I've just heard that Americans tend to be rule followers compared to other cultures. So I can't say for certain what culture wouldn't be that way, but I just thought it'd be a good thing to mention. The third thing is to keep in mind that it is a family place. So yes, Disney World does sell alcohol, but being drunk in public is not permitted. Even if you are 21, which is the legal drinking age here, and you are drunk in public, you will be asked to leave, and you will not get your money back from your ticket. And I have actually seen this happen. I have seen it happen at the Grand Floridian, actually. Somebody was swimming in the pool, and they were not so drunk that they were a hazard to themselves or others. It's not like they were dangerous to be swimming, but they were louder than they really should have been, and people are kind of looking at them. And it was not very long, it was just a couple of minutes, and then somebody from the resort came in a suit and tie, and he very quietly asked the man to leave, and sure enough, the guy left. So that's something to keep in mind. People, and something I'm actually really thinking about is at the Food and Wine Festival, there's a lot more drinking then, and if you're throwing up in the bushes at Epcot, you will be asked to leave. So keep that in mind. Yes, they sell alcohol, but you are still not expected, or you are still expected to not be intoxicated in public. And another thing is in regard to tour groups. I know a lot of times you'll have larger tour groups from other countries, particularly South America for some reason. I'm not sure why, maybe because of the proximity, it's easier than people from further away countries, but we'll have large tour groups come to Disney World. And this is something I've seen a lot of people complain about online, and it's not that they feel that they don't want people from other countries or tour groups to come, but I think the problem comes when they're in a very large group. The more people that are in a group, the louder it's going to be. You're loud and boisterous, and again, it's a family place. So it can be difficult to maneuver a stroller with a baby in it while you're holding your 4-year-old's hand around this large group of people that are kind of oblivious to what's going on around them. So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind, that it can be, if you have this really large group of people, try to keep in mind that it is still a place designed for families and designed for small children. Another thing I wanted to mention is no line cutting. And this is something that I think, yes, Americans do it, but I think this is also something that Americans are unanimously, that Americans are united against. If they see somebody cut in line, regardless of where you're from, they will say something. If you see somebody, if you're in line first and then you notice that somebody ends up a couple people ahead of you, somebody is going to say something. If you see somebody skipping all the way to the front, I don't think I have ever seen somebody cut in front in line and not had somebody say something. So that is definitely something you do not want to do. Keep that in mind. Do not cut in line, wait your turn, and stand in the back. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. And like I said, it's definitely not something where all Americans are this way or all people from other cultures are that way. It's just something that occurred to me that maybe this might be a cultural difference, or it may even be a cultural difference that I've experienced myself. And I think it's always good to be aware of that when you're traveling to another country. So I hope you found this helpful, and if you are visiting America from another country, I hope you have a wonderful time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.